Namaste. Wish you all a very, very happy International Day of Yoga. In my view, this is the only festival which is beyond all the religions, all the faiths, all the creeds and castes. It is something which is yet a conduct for spirituality. When I say it is a festival for spirituality, conduct for spirituality, it tries to introduce this component of spirituality in every walk of life. That's why International Day of Yoga enters into everybody's life. I see in the last few years the way that International Day of Yoga is being conducted. More and more people are joining in the International Day of Yoga from all across the globe. More and more countries are actually joining this festival. Not only that, they have added so many factors in this conducting of International Day of Yoga because this applicability they see yoga not only just only physical fitness, but later on it is in the health field, in the management field, and now these days yoga can be in the field of dance, in the field of culture, in the field of many things that are there, from right from the childbirth or the child and the mother's womb to the geriatric patient. At all levels, this yoga is really useful, and that's what is the approach of yoga. And what is that which yoga, the central message theme that it is giving? Very aptly this year it is chosen to be the harmony. And harmony is the essential aspect of yoga. Essential aspect of yoga. In fact, Samatvam Yoga Uchyate, when he says that, it is trying to create a harmony, trying to create an equanimity or the balance. And when we say it as balance, it's not just eliminating one thing and then having another thing, but it is to see that all of them together they are in the beautiful harmony. That's the crux of the issue. In fact, harmony is a central point for the whole life itself. When this harmony is not there, the life will not be there. Look at the way when the plant starts its journey from the seed. There is such a beautiful harmony between the roots and the flowers and the foliage on the top. So the roots are in the soil, do not see what's happening there in the top, in the sky, the flowers in the foliage, but there is such wonderful harmony. That harmony is the one which is there from the day one journey of that particular plant. All the way it becomes like a big tree and it gives further seeds for the future generations to come. So therefore that you can see that harmony is the essence of the whole of creation. And harmony itself envisages or presupposes that there are a variety of things. Look at the way God's garden has multiple colors of flowers. And there's a beautiful harmony. Not only you can see this harmony in the flowers in the God's garden, but even the peak of the hills that you see, either it is in Himalayas or in the case of Alps or any other peaks that you can see, such a wonderful harmonious way that these peaks are there. There is so much of harmony in the nature. The harmony is the nature, is the one which constantly trying to rebuild itself. And that's why you see that when we always say that if the weather is today warm, that means definitely it will rain today. That means rain tries to bring about this harmony. Whenever this harmony is something which goes to an edge, then a big change happens. It's like a catharsis, so that it re-establishes that harmony. And this is what Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita, saying that yada yada dharmasya glanirбhavati bharata abhyutthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srujamyaham. That means to say, whenever that there is this harmony between the in the mankind is getting lost, is missing, then this is what is called as adharma. Dharma is that harmony. When adharma is gaining at that point of time, he says that one such force will come like the God, and he takes birth again in whatever form it is, and then to recreate this particular harmony in the nature. Such a huge force comes and recreates that harmony. This harmony in which the things are growing is supposed to be abhyasa, and then suddenly one episode of big event that comes up and takes over the whole thing is called as vairagya. In other words, that it is chaos and the orderliness. Harmony is the orderliness, and chaos is the one that brings about this particular change within. So every chaos to see that re-establish the harmony in the new circumstances, new creation, and the new values that are there. In fact, because this culture has an idea of that nature from, excuse me, time immemorial, that this culture survived for several thousands of years. But at the same time, that every time that there is something or the other happening, it brings about this kind of a catharsis and the whole process to see that re-establish that establishing of that harmony takes place. And this can be happening like the way that I said in the nature, it can be happening in the culture, in the individual. So therefore, that this particular culture conveys this message of harmony, which is the basis of this particular civilization. And the message of that is supposed to be yoga. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna gives the ideas. Arjuna asked Krishna, saying that, when did you learn all these things? In fact, we were all together, and then you grew up along with us, and then I know about you so much. But suddenly you started speaking all these various message of yoga and all that. When did you learn? Krishna says, I have not learned. I taught it to Sri Sun God before even the birth takes place. Imambam vivaspate prahu manuvikshakabe prabhi. And he says that it is not that the individual physical Krishna is standing there, but that Krishna Tattva, Krishna consciousness that is there, which is from the beginning of the creation, which is eternal. And that's what brings about this particular concept of yoga. So now let me give you a few ideas that how this yoga has come to the being in this world, this extraordinary, wonderful science. In fact, we say the Hatha Yoga Pradipika text and all that, they say that yoga is given by, in the first place, three different Shivas are involved in this, and then Shiva Narendra is the name of Shiva. So, first Narendra, that's what is Mahashiva, he was involved in teaching this yoga to Parvati. That's how this yoga came to this world. And that's what the Puranic description about the advent of yoga comes into the picture. The second person who took it forward is the way that this second person who took this yoga forward is the Narendranath Datta is the third person who is supposed to be the Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And then in between, that somebody who has really took it from the Indian platform to the international platform. That's what is Narendranath Datta, Swami Vivekananda, and who is responsible for this whole revival of the Hindu culture. But then all these three people had similar kind of difficulties. When Narendra, that's what is Mahashiva, and he gave this such extraordinary, wonderful message of harmony. He himself had to suffer from the hands of his own father-in-law, that he went for the wedding, uninvited wedding of his own father-in-law's house, and then he was not recognized, and then his wife had to jump into the fire. Sati has to take place. Look at the tragedy that happened in the case of the Paramashiva, Narendra. But then second, Narendranath Datta, an uninvited speaker at the Parliament of World Religions. He just didn't know that all these things happen in the case of Western world. All that he saw was that there is a Parliament of World Religion being conducted and he can go and speak there. He went all the way to Chicago. He found that the Parliament was postponed to September. And all the speakers and everybody decided already that he has no chance. That's what the organizers said. A total desperation. But then somebody rescued, somebody gave him protection, somebody gave him shelter. And then later on, somebody gave him a letter saying that to the mm, organizers of Parliament of World Religion that here is a man more intelligent than all the intelligent people put together. So please give him a chance. So at the last minute, he got a chance. But look at what happened. That one last minute chance that he really stole the scenario of the Parliament of World Religions. Next day, newspaper said that a sculpture which is represented by this speaker, Swami Vivekananda, and we send our missionaries to teach them about spirituality, we should be ashamed of it. Third Narendra is Narendra Modi and Damodar Das Modi. And he also, see, look at the, before he became the Prime Minister of India, Chief Minister of Gujarat, that time USA rejected his visa application. But look at what happened. Not only that he was given the visa, he was invited in such a way that in the first visit itself, he stayed in the White House and he was the person who introduced this International Day of Yoga at the UNO platform. So all these three Narendras had the similar kind of an approach. But what really made them to see that this yoga has come forward, it is because two things. One is the very strength of yoga itself is like that, and which definitely will not stop anybody. That's what Vivekananda said. Arise, awake, stop not till the goal is reached. That's what is the strength of yoga. And second thing is about that is that they have a confidence in themselves, whether it is Shiva, whether it is Narendranath Datta or the Modi, they have the confidence in themselves such a way that it is a spirituality which is supposed to be the next message for the universe. So therefore, that is what they have given. So they already all these three Narendras brought it to the forefront. Now it's up to us to see that we carry on this message to the grassroots level, to the common man level, to everybody. So all these yoga teachers and all that all over the world, when they start giving this idea of not just only the yoga, they- you can have any school of yoga, any type of yoga that you give. It may be only meditation, it may be pranayama meditation, it may be asanas, or anything like that. It doesn't matter. But whatever that you give in the name of yoga, bring about this concept of harmony. That's what is the theme of this year's International Day of Yoga. As harmony is the essential feature of the nature of the creation itself, you can see that everywhere there's harmony. And in fact, where should this start? Harmony should start, as I said. It is in the seed that was harmony. It was there in the small little plant that is growing in the harmony. In a child, there was harmony. And everywhere that this harmony was there. We've also had this harmony when we were children. But as we have grown up, this harmony has been disturbed. We have lost that harmony somewhere because that our attraction towards the world outside that we really started stopped introspecting ourselves and looking at the harmony. Therefore, basically, that we disturb this harmony because though this harmony was the spiritual well-being of an individual, excuse me, the spiritual well-being of an individual, that's what is the Anandamaya Kosha. Essential feature is that harmony, which is the spiritual well-being of an individual, which is there within all of us, everywhere that was there. But some what happened is the material attraction of the world and then aggrandizement and the ego that is there and associated with that has drifted us away from this particular harmony. That's what I always say that a plant has that harmony, an animal has that harmony. Why not human being having that harmony? We should have it, but we missed it. So getting back to that harmony is the way that we, and that happened because that we are not conscious of the harmony which is supposed to be our own nature. Deep inside our nature, these are the three things that are there which are connected with each other. One is called as the health, and the second thing is harmony, and third is the spiritual being within us. We are the spiritual being. These three things are there within us. And you look at the way that when there is harmony, that's what is the health. And when you live in a healthy life, that means you are creating a harmonious life. So all these things are there within us right from the beginning, and then somehow we missed that. We lost that because that our involvement in the world outside, intellect and the senses taking us the world into the world outside, material world outside, we have lost the touch with our own spiritual nature, spiritual being, the Atmasthiti. So therefore, let us try to establish that. At every yoga teacher, every yoga student establishes himself that harmony, we can give this message of harmony to the world outside. It can slowly spread into between brother and brother, parents and children, and between the friend to friend, and between the teacher and student, and also between the whole area, community, nation to nation. We can create that harmony. It's not impossible, it is possible. Only thing is that we should see that this harmony has the uppermost priority compared to all other things. And what are the aspects of this harmony? One thing is mutual respect. And second thing is that not only that I let you live, but I give you all the due respect for you. If we have to bring about that. And because this is the message of this particular culture, that's why this is a culture where hundreds of languages were there, but then they lived together in wonderful harmony. And then we had this harmony with the human being and nature all the time. That's why we always had prayer for the nature. We prayed for the rivers, we prayed for the sun, we pray for the crops to come. We do the tilling. We had the knowledge of tilling and all that. It's not that ignorance only prays. No, particularly knowledgeable person prays with much more knowledge and dedication. And that's what this culture has done. Even till today, the biggest of the intellectual persons of this country, still that they go out to see that the prayers, all these things that they have in their daily life as a part of their life. So therefore, all these things are to see that we create a harmony between the various aspects of the nature, all the panchabhutas, five different elements, the human being and the animals, and all those things. That's why we have such wonderful way. Shannostu dvipade, sham chatushpade. Let the people will be happy. Let the people be happy. Let the animals also be happy in this culture. So this is the way that we have always given the message of harmony in this particular culture. Let us now consciously, aggressively take this forward and try to eliminate all that which is trying to interfere with this essence of nature, which is called as harmony. Let us carry this message as a part of yoga and let us conduct several seminars, whether it is a management seminar, productivity seminar, or maybe any other thing which we think of, be it linked with this harmony in this particular whole year of International Day of Yoga, and let us make a dent in the nature and the world outside for a better way of life and a harmonious way of life. Let us try to take this message forward. This is a small little simple prayer that we can offer to all our yoga masters, who have given us this yoga over several thousands of years, centuries that they have given this. And that message can be only fulfilled when we are able to take this message forward to the next generation. And this year, particularly with the theme of harmony, we can create a mark in the nature, in the society that stays around us. So, with this small little idea of harmony, how we can take it forward, International Day of Yoga, meaningful. It may be the day of yoga, maybe the starting, but the whole year is the year of yoga of this particular message. Let's carry this on. Wish you all once again the very best from the Yoga Bharati team and Yoga Bharati well wishers all over the world. Come, wish you all the same best. Thank you so much. Namaste.